and today I'm going to do something a little bit different, so I hope you enjoy it. This is more for the grown-ups than it is for the kids. So I'm going to be reading from two books. I'm going to be reading from Now We Are Six by A.A. Milne and Now We Are 60 by Christopher Matthew. So we'll start with In the Dark. I've had my supper and had my supper and had my supper and all. I've heard the story of Cinderella and how she went to the ball. I've cleaned my teeth and I've said my prayers and I've cleaned and said them right. And they've all of them been and kissed me lots. They've all of them said good night. So here I am in the dark alone, there's nobody here to see. And I think to myself and I play to myself and nobody knows what I say to myself. Here I am in the dark alone. What's it going to be? I can think whatever I like to think. I can play whatever I like to play. I can laugh whatever I like to laugh. There's nobody but here but me. I'm talking to a rabbit. I'm talking to the sun. I think I am 100. I'm 1. I'm lying in a forest. I'm lying in a cave. I'm talking to a dragon. I'm brave. I'm lying on my left side. I'm lying on my right. I'll play a lot tomorrow. I'll think a lot tomorrow. I'll laugh a lot tomorrow. Hey ho, good night. And now I am going to read for you Insomnia. I've been to dinner and overeaten and drunk a brandy or 3. I've taken a couple of Alka-Seltzer and had a jolly good pee. I've set the cat and I've locked the back door and I've turned on the burglar alarm. And I've laid up for breakfast and kissed the wife, which never does anyone harm. So here I am in the dark awake, the clock has just struck 2. I counted sheep and bonked Bo Peep, and still I'm nowhere near sleep. Here I am in the dark awake, what am I going to do? I can't turn the light on and watch the telly. I can't read a book or quote bits of Shelley. I can't nip downstairs and eat tagliatelle. It'd only wake up the old moo. I'm kissing Nicole Kidman. I'm winning the Nobel. I think I must be dying. I'm well. I'm halfway up Mount Everest. I'm milking a prize cow. I'm a 2-time Oscar winner. I'm a wow. I've won a boardroom battle. I'm feeling really chuffed. I'll be all right tomorrow. I'll win the fight tomorrow. I'll see the light tomorrow. Oh, hey ho, I'm stuffed. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, some of you might remember the poem, King John was not a good man. He had his little ways, and sometimes no one spoke to him for days and days and days. So therefore, Sir John's fancy might be familiar. Sir John was quite a vain man. He liked his share of praise. When people didn't speak to him, he'd sulk for days and days. And when he put his gear on and jogged around the park, he wouldn't go when it was light. He said he thought it wasn't right. His lycra shorts were much too tight. He went when it was dark. Sir John was quite a vain man. He fussed about his weight. He wished it would disappear so he could have a date. And every day he weighed himself and crossed his fingers hard and groaned and grumbled loud and long and said, "This damn machine's gone wrong. I'm not surprised it's from Hong Kong," and threw it in the yard. Sir John was quite a vain man. He wasn't one to search for deeper hidden messages, and he never went to church. He didn't hold with vicars. Cut out the middleman and deal direct was what he preached. But when he saw the size he'd reached and felt just like a whale that's beached, he tried a different plan. So every night at midnight, and sometimes after that, he'd make himself a cup of tea and then put out the cat, and slip into his gym jams, brush his thinning hair, and bend his knee beside the bed, and clasp his hands and bow his head, as all men do who are well bred, and offer up this prayer. Dear Lord, I'm not a bad sort, like some that you must know, who fiddle their expenses and don't pay what they owe. I'm not what you'd call greedy, I never stuff my face. Yet, Lord, however hard I try to cut out puds and self-deny, still fatter grow my hip and thigh. Look kindly on my case. I have this secretary, I call her Freckly Jane. She's not what you'd call pretty, and she's not what you'd call plain. I have no base intentions, I'd like her to be a chum, and sometimes ask her out to lunch. But when it comes, Lord, to the crunch, she looks away. I have a hunch she's laughing at my tum. Forget about the share price, forget about my rise, and all the firm's elaborate plans to Europeanize. I don't need money and I don't want fame. I've got my knighthood and I've got my name. But, oh Lord of mercy, pardon my distaste and grant me a nice trim 34-inch waist. Sir John went to the office and smiled at Freckly Jane, and to his great amazement she smiled right back again. He said, I'm no Adonis. She said, I'm no Monroe. You may not be a superstar. I rather like you just the way you are. You're rather like my late papa, a cuddly Romeo. The moral of this story should make us all feel warm. God moves in a mysterious way, his wonders to perform. There's a lot of fun to be had in these books. I bought them for Mum some years ago, and Mum and I spent a whole heap of time reading them together this afternoon in our isolation, and we giggled and laughed a lot together, which was really lovely. Okay, bye.